Welcome to Beer League Benchwarmers, the podcast recorded from the bench of a bus station where the bus is probably going to be late. So, what's up, guys? Today we're talking about a question. I don't know what that is. We're talking about our favorite Buffalo play. Then we're doing a little pregame, and I guess this will probably also be connected to the postgame show.
So I'll either be crying or crying.
Get ready to see the results of a historic Buffalo Bills football game.
Grown man cry on YouTube.
Yeah. And there was some confusion. I don't know. I'll just leave it up to the audience to figure it out. If they figure it out, they do. If not, whatever. Oops.
Little Easter egg there. Good job, Kyle.
Yep. Anyways, so Jake,
All right.
word on the street is.
Yeah. I had a question. It's completely unrelated to sports.
Oh, geez.
Have you guys ever been asked a question previous in your life that just has always stuck with you? Like, I think about a question that I was asked, and I don't want to name names, so I won't. But I was asked in high school, and I was over at Sean's house. And I was asked by a friend of ours, how do you wipe when you poop? And I think about that every time I poop.
That's not typical in U.S. culture to talk about stuff like that.
Did he?
He asked, do you go in front or do you go behind? And I think about that every time because I go behind. And I think
I was asked if I stand up when I wipe. That was in high school.
I've heard that's game changer, honestly.
And then
standing up?
Yeah, I've heard that's game changer.
Well,
I don't get it. Then that
sounds like it would change the game in a bad way, but no judgment. Whatever works as long as you clean your butt.
Figure it'd be harder because your cheeks would be stuck together then.
Yeah, but then it's less surface area you got to wipe.
Yeah.
Did you know we started wiping to prevent the spread of disease?
Makes sense.
It's pretty
I
cool.
would just do
the
it.
original question is, I don't need to go on these. Have you ever been asked a question you think about like on a regular basis? Like that,
I think about anything.
Every time I poop, I think about when he asked me that. And it's like, why did he ask me that for one? And
so Jake, how do you? No.
I wipe. I reach around.
Okay.
I do the old reach around.
Well, I probably shouldn't admit this, but I go through the front.
Do you? See, now my mind is blown.
That's crazy, right?
It's the same. Like my mind is blown anytime you walk into the men's bathroom and you see the guys, and I think Sean's dad's one of them, that when they're wearing like shorts, they'll pull the short leg up and then just pee out that.
Yep.
Like that throws me off too.
That helps when
People
you don't
do
wear
that?
underwear all the time.
Yeah, people do it. I'm pretty sure. Doesn't your dad do that?
Yes. Yeah, because he never wears underwear.
Well,
Yeah.
now the
And
internet
there's
knows.
other people that we work with that. Well, I didn't say his name.
That's true.
Yeah, everybody has a dad somewhere in life.
Some people have too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't think I could
that blow my mind.
Wiping from the front makes me worried about knuckle dragging.
Yeah.
That'd be bad.
Having shitty balls.
that is an interesting question.
You gotta stop before you get to your balls.
No, I'm talking like you're not like. What if you reach too far down? You hit that water.
The water's not that fucking high.
No.
Jesus.
You need a
You need a new fucking toilet. Your
Have
water
you-
should not
have you
be
ever
that
pooped on
fucking
a boat?
high.
On a
I've
boat?
never pooped on a boat. No.
I
Well,
have
I mean, does a cruise count?
probably not.
You ever
Maybe.
poop off a boat?
Yes.
You have?
There's a video that
What?
I've seen, and I'm so jealous of.
Wait,
where
we
a
have to
guy-
go back to Sean. Sean
Well, I'm
pooped
gonna
off
get
of a
to Sean.
boat.
There's a video of a guy jumping off a pier or a boat or something.
Did he poop?
And in air, he poops. And like
Which hit the water first?
I've always wanted to try it.
What hit the water first?
Knowing my luck, it'd be like explosive diarrhea, and then I just go into the
Land in it. And it hits you.
Well, you're already in the water, so
diarrhea water. Yeah.
Well, don't do it into a bathtub or a kiddie pool, and you'll be fine.
No promises.
So what
Sean,
hit
you
the?
pooped off a boat?
Yes, I have.
It's pretty sweet.
What happened?
I was gonna
Why
say,
did you poop off a boat?
We were out boating one time and I had to poop. We were out on the lake. I had to go.
All
That's
right.
where it all goes eventually.
I wasn't driving we weren't driving all the way back to shore.
I hope you went swimming after.
Just used
Oh,
toilet
jeez.
paper.
All right, that works.
Where'd you put the toilet paper?
In the water. Biodegradable.
That's true, actually.
It's really just the lake. Honestly, is just a big toilet.
Well, I was gonna say, what is this down south or up here?
No, it was Lake Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, that's fine then. Worst case scenario goes to the canal, and that's shitty, anyways.
Yeah, it goes to Canada. Fuck them.
They filter the
question
water
that-
coming out of there, anyways.
A question that I was at school that I do think about. I was thinking about this just a couple days ago. Was when we were in my criminal justice class for BOCES, they gave us tasks at the end of the day. They would rotate them for like cleaning up jobs, like taking out garbage, sweeping, that nonsense. I remember the one time I was taking garbage out, and this one kid stopped me and he asked me if I had a job, and I was like, no, as in like I'm assuming outside of school. And I was like, no, I don't. And he goes, that's good because you'd be really bad at it. I'm like, I'm just taking garbage out. Like I'm in the middle of tying a bag of garbage, and I'm like, oh, like all right. I didn't realize that like I was
What
that
a
at that
shitty guy.
Dickhead.
tying garbage. But whatever. I'm not doing bad now, so haha.
I
Joke's
mean,
on him. He's probably arrested.
I was a janitor for a bit, and I did get really good at tying garbage bags. So maybe he
Yeah,
had
you
that
were a
experience.
Maybe.
Are you in the garbage tying Hall of Fame?
Nope, I wasn't that good. I tried, but those janitors, man, they're crazy. They get
Now,
crazy.
Sean, Kyle, have you guys ever been asked a question you think about? I mean, like this question that I was asked, we were still in high school. Do you remember who it was that asked?
I do.
John?
Yeah.
Kyle, I'm sure you're there. That was when we had a bunch of people over, and it was just like
Wow.
7 guys in a living room talking about how they wipe their butts.
I'll throw a reference.
Sounds
out
like
there
a
that'll
typical
let
high
you
school
know that
party.
I know 3 balls.
No, not him.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Was it a clown?
No, you never knew about our friend that had 3 balls?
I've
Seen it.
Yeah. So I.
Does he have like? Does he have bigger loads?
I think I know what you're talking about.
No, one wasn't a real one.
Oh.
He
It's
had
He had
like,
a prosthetic.
It was a cyst.
Pretty cool.
Oh,
Uh,
that's lame.
Cysts are so
Oh,
lame, you
really?
know.
I thought it was the other.
The,
one.
Yeah.
the comments don't show up in the video, right?
No,
I don't know if they do, then I don't think they do.
no.
Yeah,
And
who knows?
like I don't want to name names. I think that
Yeah.
anonymity or whatever the fuck that word is.
Anonymity. I like that word. It's a pretty
Yeah,
cool
you don't
word.
remember the guy with 3 balls either?
I vaguely
I
do.
remember looking. He was in your back. Yeah, everything happened at Sean's house.
Yes.
Happened in your back bathroom, and he's just standing in the doorway, and he's like holding it like the brain almost.
Yeah. Then you guys stole my phone and put it as my background on my phone.
I remember that. I remember fucking with you at Art Park.
Oh my god.
It's a good time. That's time for another conversation.
We'll
I
talk about
honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I'll have to
think I
think
do
on
either.
this. Maybe I'll get back to you, but I don't think there's been any questions that have
Pretty
stuck
much
with
the
me.
only question I think about, and that's here we are 15. Not like that's the only question I ever think. What is the value of life? No, how do you wipe your butt? No, it's like
It's just
I
one
think
that
about it on a
resonates with
regular
me.
basis, and it was like 15 years ago that he asked.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it, but I don't think so. I just don't think about things. So I do think about things, but not the past. I try not to think about the past because I can't remember it. Chicken
I hate
egg.
the Past sucks. Like I would think of like things in 7th grade, and it's like just like cringeworthy.
Ugh.
Right?
Yeah,
Stuff.
douche chills.
Oh
I was
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I was
Ah,
not
all
a
the
good
time.
person.
God. Tanner, what are you doing?
You know what though? They say if you look back on your past and you're like cringe, it means you've grown as a person. So
God, then I've really grown.
yeah,
I've grown a lot.
it's good. It's a good thing. You got to take the positive. Oh, hello.
Yeah,
There's
now I got to be PG over here.
a-
Conversation.
He doesn't know these words. It's okay.
No, it would be. As soon
you
as he
can't hear
says
us, right?
it. No,
That'd
you
be
can't
him
hear it.
repeating.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Well, this is important. He has to figure out how he wants to wipe his butt. Anyways, let's change the topic before we get too deep in that.
How he wants him to wipe his butt would be his dad.
Yeah.
Hi, Tanner.
They say hi. Can you say hi?
All right, buddy.
Bye.
He said no thanks. He was polite about it at least.
Yeah.
Back
Wait,
with you too.
I
Way to,
have
way
a
to raise
lot
him
going
up.
on, so I could see. That's intimidating.
Is in the only spot of the couch that can be seen on the camera.
He's lurking, waiting.
Good boy.
He's waiting to chime in on his favorite moment and Buffalo plays.
Yep.
You're gonna
All
hear
right,
him
yeah.
back in
Sean
here. They
just
start.
brought up the topic. I don't know where Sean is.
I'm here.
You're down for me.
Oh,
Where are you, Sean?
I'm in the top right corner for me.
Is that it?
Nope,
Oh,
other way.
never.
There's nobody over there, Kyle.
Okay. So, as Sean said, what's your favorite Buffalo play through history?
Now, do you want to do favorite Buffalo play that you witnessed?
No.
Or just
Sure.
ever?
I say ever, but you can
Okay.
you can have the
Yeah,
one
I
you
don't-
witnessed as an addendum if you want.
Okay. No, it's
Yeah,
fine.
but we bring it up because a lot of people are saying that pick six last week was one of the greatest Buffalo plays ever. Killed Houston's momentum,
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
whatever. The team we were facing. It killed the enemy's momentum.
I was impressed that he knew what the pick six was. So
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away. Proud of you, Kyle.
Thank you. Anyways, who wants to go first? Okay, Rick, what's your favorite Buffalo play?
Sorry.
I mean, favorite play. I remember.
It's most memorable or like best Bills sports play, not favorite play.
Also, Bills play.
Or,
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry, I keep saying Bills. Best Buffalo sports play. It could be the Bandits winning
Buffalo.
the championship if you
Yeah,
really
I
want.
mean, the one that I usually and I think about a lot is the Sabres against the Rangers. They're back in was it 07. Drury scoring and then Afenagedov scoring in overtime. There's that, and then the other one I always think about is the first goal that I ever saw live, which was Miroslav Satan, 1990 freaking 7 or 8 Buffalo against Carolina.
Ooh.
We
That's
won
cool.
3-2, and Satan scored. Arturs Urbe was in the net for Carolina. It's a long time ago. Yeah, those
Satan's
are
a
the two.
goalie, right?
No,
Satan.
Satan is a forward. Miroslav Satan.
Who am I thinking of?
Why do you? I say Shatan.
I always say Satan.
My grandma always called him Satan because I had his jersey and she is very religious. So I always wore it around
it's
her.
spelled like Satan, so
It
it,
is.
makes
It
sense.
is. He's still
As
playing.
far,
Or not
yeah, I
anymore.
mean-
He's an owner or a general manager of a Russian team. now.
He's the owner of the Slovakian Olympic
Yeah,
team.
maybe that's what it is. Yeah, something with it. I knew he was still doing
Should
something.
have joined the Devils. That would have been because it's Satan. Never mind. That's cool. You remember that from 1997?
oh yeah, I remember that. We were 15 rows from the ice. We won the tickets at a basket raffle at Barker Elementary. That was where I was going to school at the time. We went. They did basket raffles once a year, and we went, and we won tickets.
pretty
for that. It was
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Was that your first Sabres game?
Yeah, that was it. First one.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. I wish I could remember the past and remember cool things like that. But that's cool. I'm glad you have that.
You don't remember your first hockey game, Kyle?
Not really.
Do you,
Nope.
Sean?
Vaguely. I was real little. Like I was 5. I remember games at the Odd.
I've never gone to the Odd. My first game was at the arena. We lost to Boston 3-1. Stu Barnes scored because I remember wondering why they were booing him, and then my dad had explained to me why they were stewing, right? And yeah, we lost 3-1. A Bruins fan flipped off the jumbotron, and like those are moments that I remember. We were 13 rows of the ice. That's why, like, when you were saying you're 15, it was like, why is it our first games is probably the closest we get to the ice, and then we slowly start moving back?
Because that's
That's
when
because we
started
start
to pay
paying
for
for
him.
them. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I do remember.
Yeah, I remember that. That was early 2000s. I didn't go to my first game until I was probably 10-ish. But that was just because my dad didn't want to bring me around rowdy, drunk idiots. And now
Yeah,
I'm
I was
one
just
of
thinking that. Like, I went to Bills games when I was very young, and it's just you don't really understand the drunk people at all. They're just weird.
my first Bills game wasn't until I was 24. And I didn't. My dad like refused to take me to Bills games. He's like, "I'll take you to Sabres games. They're a little bit more controlled because it wasn't tailgating really." He's like, "But you'll go to Bills games on your own when you're old enough."
I went. My first was a preseason game if that counts.
That was my
Preseason game,
first too.
was it? It was against Philly. It was sometime 2001, maybe, against Philadelphia. Buffalo lost by a field goal at the very end. The only other Bills game I went to was a regular season game. It was sometime in November 2010. The Lions came to Buffalo. That was when Buffalo started the season 0-8, and they got their first win against Detroit. I went there because it was Ndamukong Suh's rookie year.
There you go.
I was beyond pissed because it started to rain in like the second quarter. Halftime comes. There were like 3 women that were sitting in front of me. They all went to get food. It's downpouring. They come back for the second half and they won't sit down because the seat's wet. So I'm just yelling behind them. People are cheering. I'm like, oh, I wish you could have seen that play. That would have been sweet to see.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, it was so long for me to go to a Bills game that I went to more hockey games in that stadium than football games. Outdoor Sarah's game, and then it was I might have went to the preseason game, years after that, and then we went to the USA Canada outdoor game, and then since then I've gone to a couple regular season.
So you went to 3 hockey games in the
two hockey games and 3 Bills games now. So now officially I have gone to more football games than hockey games.
That's a weird club to be in. I'm sure there's not a whole lot of people.
I'm not in the club anymore, but yes.
I know.
I wish I was. I wish there was another outdoor game.
Yeah.
All right. So your first or best Buffalo moment was the Drury goal, you're saying?
Yeah, that I can really think of was that. I mean, as far as the Bills go, the Bills have sucked for so long. I mean, I remember the Music City Miracle, still watching it in my living room.
Yep.
So,
We're not going to talk about bad plays. We'll be here for way too long.
With both sports.
That could be a whole podcast.
McCollum's fumble Monday Night Football against Patriots.
There was
Stevie
a super
Johnson
cool
the ball in the
moment.
end zone.
Yeah, there was a super cool play. This was way back. This was like the first or second year after Kelly was gone. We either had Rob Johnson or Todd Collins as the quarterback. It was one of those years forever ago. And we were playing, I don't remember, it was late in the season, don't remember how the Bills did, but we were playing Denver. And I remember the Denver receiver making the catch, and the safety ran up. The receiver attempted to deke him out basically, but the receiver he just reaches forward and peels the ball out of his hands and then takes off. So I don't know. I don't remember if it counted as a pick or a fumble recovery or whatnot, but he didn't hit him. He didn't bat it out of his hands. He just reached forward and took it like, he was just taking something. That was
I remember a random Bills play too, where we were playing the Jets when Brett Favre was the quarterback. So in that one year that he was there, and we had to get like a first down. It was late. We were winning. It was like 3rd and 4 or whatever. JP Lawson was the quarterback. They did a play action boot where he rolled to the right side of the line, except the defender did not fall for the play action. Popped Lossman, fumbled it, and then we lost the game. It's just stupid plays like that. But yeah, we'll be here forever if we want to count bad, especially Bills.
Yeah.
We want to count bad plays like that.
5 picks on Monday night and still lose. That was to Dallas.
God, I remember that one. That might be my earliest Bills memory.
Yeah.
Like vividly, I remember I had TV in my room watching. I'm gonna get me too mad before we even play this AFC Championship game. Sean, what's your favorite Buffalo or the best Buffalo moment?
Well, it does include the same player that Ricky said, but I'm going with Chris Drury's Game 1 win against Ottawa in the 06 playoffs when they won. Was it 6-5?
Tim Connolly scored.
Yeah, I still have the picture from the paper of him coming over right along the boards and everybody mobbing him. That was when Mike Greer stole the puck and just fed it to Drury. It was like 40 seconds into overtime.
Steal is such a loose term. The defender just completely lost. It was Kyle and with the puck pretty much.
Yeah, they just lost it. Mike Greer fed it over to Drury. That was what they talked about at the intermission. They're like, pretty much the next shot's going to go in and it's going to win the game. And sure as shit, Drury's next shot scored. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that. That's one I still remember to this day. That whole playoff series in general was just full of Sabres moments.
You could always tell, like listening to the game, watch the game, you could tell when Rick Jeanneret was starting to get really like intense. Oh, goals coming, goals coming, the goals
oh,
coming. And then
that's-
they'd score within 2 or 3 possessions. And it was like no matter what, there were games that we were down by 2 goals, come back and tie it up and win it. I mean, they were never out of it that year.
Those were fun years. That like those couple years really.
That's why like Jenneret's hands down one of the best announcers in the game, because not only does he make the great call, but he anticipates how the play is going to be and he knows where it's going to develop, so he can and build that momentum and that tension, saying like knowing that something's going to happen. You listen to some of these other guys for other teams that call the game, it's very generic and boring. Like,
and he also had the benefit of he was only casting for one team, so he could get to know the players more and do this.
A lot of them do.
That's all. Yeah, most of them are only for one.
Teams
team.
have their announcers. All of them do.
Yeah.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
I would say, do you remember the few games that his son did it?
Yeah, they was
Nope.
awful.
I never listened to those.
It was
Yeah,
so
his
It
son
takes
did
a while to
what,
get
for
the
the Portland
awareness,
Pirates
so.
or whatever.
He might have gotten better.
Yeah,
over time, but
like Rick Jeanneret got sick or something like that, and his son
Yeah,
filled in for a
he's-
couple games. It was not.
He had cancer.
nepotism.
It was back when Kevin Sylvester was part of the crew and Mike Robitaille, way back when.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't mind Dunleavy.
I actually do enjoy him. I think him and Rob Ray have a good chemistry together.
Yep.
I'll be biased. Poundville scoring the game, series clinching.
I mean, that is
Was
iconic.
huge. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I will say Danny Brier's overtime winner, and it's all within the freaking same year.
Yep.
Danny Brier's overtime winner in
Yep.
Game 6 against Carolina,
That's
the
a
old
great one.
Champagne game.
Another
I
one.
remember Lindy Ruff. Kyle, I don't know if you remember this. Sabres were down 3-2 going to Game 6. Tons of injuries. We were already out of the series pretty much, and it was in Carolina. Okay, take your coat off. I'm talking.
if you need to
And
go,
Lindy
we
Ruff
can.
told his team, hey, they already got the champagne in the locker room. They're already winning the series, to inspire the team. And then Danny Briere scored them. But I think that was such a huge game. And it was like the last moment that they had to win the cup pretty much. I mean, as good as they were in 07, that wasn't even 06 was the best they ever had. But Bills, I can't think because there were so many bad plays. And with football too, it's like, I mean, they dominated the Raiders in the early 90s for the AFC Championship. They beat them by like 50 points.
Yeah, they crushed them.
So how can you pick one play out of that? Like football is so many plays to lead to a big play that like there wasn't a Hail Mary that sticks out. There's one that sticks out that's bad, and that was this year. But there wasn't any like significant things. The Umberger hit too is huge in my book because that set the tone. That's the first series of the playoffs game.
First game too.
Was it the first game? I thought the
Yeah.
first game was the.
That was in the first
What-
overtime, and Danny Briere scored in the double overtime.
I get the two games mixed up because then it must have been the second game where you had Dumont get a hat trick and Poundville get a hat
Yeah,
trick.
that's where they dominated.
Yeah, we annihilated Philly. I love that series. I think there were two games that we scored 8 goals. It was insane. They crushed them.
Yeah, so like the Umberger hit, like that was the first overtime that it happened, and that really set the tone for the series because it was like, oh, the Broad Street Bullies are gonna overpower them. They had Peter Forsberg was on the team, not Forsberg. There's somebody that was really old. That was way
I think
past.
it was Forsberg.
Might have been Forsberg.
Number 21. I think it was Forsberg.
Yeah, he was way past his prime, but they're just like, oh, he's gonna outmuscle them. He's got the leadership, and then RJ Umberger became a household name in Buffalo, at least. I love watching that.
Then Jake McCabe copied it with Patrick Laine.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
recall
it was really good. It wasn't as good, but it was really good. That was one of the better open
One
ice
of the better
hits I've
ones
seen.
lately.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
If he
don't
did
know
that
if
now,
it
he'd be
was-
suspended.
Quick
I don't know
funny
if it
story.
was.
Oh, go ahead, Kyle. Sorry.
I don't know if it was part of the consent consciousness at the time or if it was just in our little group, but for some reason, like montages on YouTube were very popular
Oh man,
of
There's
like
one-
best goals, best hits, blah blah blah, and it made all of the
there's a montage of the hit, or whatever you want to call it, the Umberger hit, where it's got Coldplay playing in it.
Yeah, I love that video.
But it's perfect, Kyle. It's the scientist, I think it is. And like it's got all the ESPN looking at it, TSN looking at it, the Sabres broadcast. It's all these broadcasts just showing it. It's like, line them up, he sized them up, he laid them out. I think about that all the time.
I love that
I've ever
video.
seen that.
That's
amazing.
I'll send it to you. It's
All
an
right, I gotta
amazing
see that.
video.
That's one of my most watched videos on YouTube. It's always in my search bar.
Gives me chills, gives me other things.
Chills.
Chills, yeah. Goosebumps, just a little bit bigger one in the middle area.
Yep. Ran him over like a Greyhound bus.
It redirects
Yes.
the blood flow.
It's such great. Oh man, gets me going. That's probably how I have all my 3 kids.
Little funny story about the series that Ricky said it was with his favorite highlight. I went to game 1 of that series. It was the first and only playoff game I've ever been to. The tickets were given to my parents for no idea why. Well, I do know now why. They had season tickets. They gave them to my mom. My dad took me, and then the next day they fired my mom. That was her going away present.
Bye, bye, Felicia.
That's rough. But hey,
I need to go. I can't wait for the Sabres to go back to the playoffs. I will definitely be back in Buffalo for a Sabres home game. That'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Be a long time, unfortunately, but
might be.
I was asking Rachel about this. What was his favorite or best Bills or Buffalo play? I was like, before we even say, 'cause she's a huge Bandits fan, I was like, I don't think the Bandits would even crack a top 10 list.
I mean, for their fans, it might.
For their fans, right? But as Buffalo as a whole, as a community, Bandits are so far down the list, and it's unfortunate because they've won championships.
Yeah, they're generally a really good team.
Yes, they're the only Buffalo team that's actually Bisons haven't been good in 10 years.
Yeah,
So they're the only ones that are actually in the mix. So it is unfortunate that the Bandits aren't as popular as they should be, really.
they are. I know that, like, as far as the lacrosse league goes, though, they are extremely popular. There was the one playoff game that I went to. Me and the woman went to. They were playing the New England Black Wolves, and we were actually where we got our tickets. I don't know why I bought these tickets, but we got our tickets in this
They're
section.
cheap.
I don't remember why. They're down in the hundreds, but there was like a group of probably 20 people that actually came from the New England area. They were all Black Wolves fans, and they said that they were told by tons of other people that they needed to go to Buffalo for a game because the atmosphere at the Buffalo Arena was insane, which, I mean, it is. Like, all the crazy, like, I don't know how many games you've gone to, Jake. I know usually you're not there, but, like, it's almost like it feels culty because of all, like, the crazy chants that the entire stadium gets into. It's insane.
I mean, it's whenever we go to Rochester.
Yeah.
You take over Rochester.
Yeah.
And, like, I've only gone to a handful of games, probably 2 or 3. But, like, the New York City area, that they got one new team this last season.
The Riptide.
They were playing the replay games on MSG, and I'd watch it, and it's like there's nobody there. I mean, it's an expansion team, so like it's got to take a little bit. But like, any clips I see of other arenas just seems like it doesn't come close to Buffalo, and that's not any knock on Buffalo, but it shows where the NLL stands in the sport world.
What's NLL?
Where as great as Buffalo is,
National
their market-
Lacrosse League.
Talk much?
National God.
stroke over there. As good as Buffalo is, as far as a market is concerned, it still can't beat out the Sabres, who are just terrible of a team, and how bad they are in the NHL as far as a market is concerned.
I recall a couple of years ago there was like a petition saying the Sabres needed to do better, and they were like gonna start boycotting games or something. I don't remember exactly, but there was like some big,
previously, and that didn't work either.
yeah.
We had this discussion a few episodes ago.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Sorry.
You're like the main one. We're like, oh, boycott it. Then they'll listen.
Yeah,
Ownership.
the owners will listen.
No, I remember. Like, I know we talked about that, and you talked about the guy who had a big rant that got really
Dwayne.
popular. Was that related to the? Okay.
I mean, it's for the Sabres and the same ownership group.
It's the same story. Same
But yeah,
story. every year.
people like hockey around here, so
They like our sport.
I'll ask this too because I don't want to get too far off topic. If they could expand to one of the two other major sports, baseball or basketball, what would flourish best in Buffalo?
probably
I've thought about this
basketball.
a lot. I've thought about this a lot. Like
I always think about this.
I feel like basketball would, but you have to look at. You're talking about now the arena has to share basketball, lacrosse, and hockey, and you're talking people would have to decide. I mean, you can
And
go to one
concerts.
game this week. Are you going to choose basketball or football, or basketball or hockey? And even football's in the fall.
Yeah, but
So,
you
I
got
mean, you have-
other teams that share the same thing.
Boston
but-
TD Garden does it all the time.
Toronto
MSU does
has
it
a-
all the time.
Yeah, but there's
Colorado
also
And
has a
that's with a
lacrosse
lot
team.
more concerts and other events going on than what.
yes, but there's also
basketball
a
does.
lot more people in that area. So
Yes,
there's-
that's the fans.
my thought is like picking baseball maybe just because it's not going on at the same time as the other ones. So more people will be like, all right, well, we can all go to the baseball game rather than, payday comes and you got to decide you want to go to the lacrosse game, hockey game, football game, or basketball game. So
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think
like,
it.
I mean,
Go ahead, sorry.
basketball, I think basketball might do well, but I don't really know. I mean, baseball, I think just because it's not during the fall, that we don't
I
have a big enough
agree.
market.
It's more or less about the fans' availability than the arena availability. The arena could easily do it. It would not be a problem. My son's making me dizzy from going back and forth about this. I think baseball would do better. I just think, like, for whatever reason, it's on the upswing. Basketball, I know the numbers are showing basketball is like the number one viewed sport. I just think that it's so irrelevant in this area that, like, I think
Well,
baseball.
I know the college basketball. That my completely uneducated opinion is that because there's like the college basketball is popular, it might be able to sustain it, and it might break into a new audience too. That's like not everyone's a Bills fan, but like the people who aren't Sabres fans.
Get over here.
There used to be a
Those
basketball.
are cat
team in
toys. Put
Buffalo.
them back.
Oh my God! I told you my opinion wasn't worth anything.
Kid, those are
Bisons,
cat toys. They're not your toys.
right? Is that what their name? Is that their
What?
name? The Bisons.
Buffalo
No, they're
Braves.
Braves. That's it.
They're now technically the Clippers.
Yeah, the LA Clippers are now what the Buffalo Braves were.
Got all these toys.
They were a decent team. They're a playoff team. I mean, supposedly the owners just started trading players for cash until they sold the team to. They went somewhere and then they went to. I forgot. I think they went to one state and then they ended up in LA. But yeah, something of that sort.
I cut off Jake. Sorry, wherever he is. You're saying that you don't think I think you were just agreeing. There's not a lot of audience for basketball.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as colleges are concerned, sure. To me, college baseball will always be below college basketball, no matter where you are in the nation. College basketball is huge in a lot of places. But outside of Syracuse, UB was just in the March Madness, and they still aren't popular.
Yeah. Same thing with Niagara.
NU has
for
been there a
years.
couple times.
St. Bonaventure is always there.
Yeah.
Nobody goes to those games.
Well, because they're
Like,
in Orleans County. That's a 2-hour drive for some people. From
Well, yeah, but I mean, we do a 2-hour drive for baseball. Like, I mean, doing a 2-hour drive for a sporting event is not, as in grand scheme of things, is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You do it for baseball all the time with Toronto, or go to Cleveland for 5 hours away. Like, I think baseball would be better, but either one, you'd have to branch out to a new market because it just really hasn't been done in the last 40 years.
Nope.
And either one, you'd have an immediate rivalry with Toronto.
Yeah.
And either one, you'd have a rivalry with Cleveland too.
Mhm.
So, like, it'd be easiest for basketball because you already have the arena. Baseball, you'd have to buy a state or build a stadium. You'd have to find a place for a stadium. A lot of people, I guess there's room to make.
They could expand.
I
this
don't know
one,
what that
but-
is. Duntire Park, Coca-Cola Field, whatever it's called
Sa-
nowadays.
or
Sailing
Salen's-
Field.
Salen's Field. Yeah, that's right.
It's always Duntire Park for me. But I guess there's enough room to expand it. That's what they say, but it's still so
That's
old.
it's
It's a
goofy how
great minor
outdated
league
it is.
park.
Yeah.
But that's it. It cannot be a professional park.
What's weird is that when did they build that park? It was newer because I think we were actually fighting Tampa Bay to get an expansion. I remember we were fighting a city for an expansion. We lost, but they built that park and they updated it to be MLB ready. So at one point, like recently, like 20 years ago, that park was considered MLB ready, which I mean now it looks like a complete shithole. They didn't have a bullpen. Like their bullpen is just a bench, inside the playing
Does
field.
it need some
basically.
warming?
It was built in 1988.
88.
No,
So
Sean, I was doing that.
who was the team that came in the 80s then, right around that? Because we were fighting somebody. I forgot who, but
I don't know.
I know, Kyle. That's okay.
I mean, look at all the work they had to do for Toronto this last season.
Oh
to
yeah,
make it MLB official. Like the walkways for the fans, they had to become part of the dugout because of batting cages. You have to have the batting cages inside and all that. Like all that work, it would have to be done on a professional level.
Yep.
It's back there.
All right, so I think that I haven't talked about my favorite Buffalo moments.
Bye,
Have
Tanner.
not.
They're a little different. My favorite. Let me throw a name out there. Jim Pizzutelli. Does that ring a bell?
It's not.
Bagley.
Holy crap!
Are
Okay.
you like struggling to say Jim Kelly?
No, Pizzutelli. He was a former U.S. Army combat medic who gripped Malarchuk's neck and pinched off the blood vessel, not letting go until doctors began to stabilize it. And he also put a bunch of pressure on his collarbone, preventing him from bleeding out.
Jake has a question.
Your best moment is somebody almost dying.
They didn't. They survived because of the quick thinking. Good medical
saving
staff.
the life part is his
Yeah,
favorite moment.
there's been
Richard
at
Zednick.
least 3 really good cases in Buffalo of medical triumphs, I guess.
That's one that I
Yeah.
really remember for sure.
Zednick. Actually, I was looking it up on Wikipedia, and apparently Malarchuk watched the Zednick injury and was like, "Holy crap, that brought back a lot of."
He also tried killing
Memories.
himself twice.
And he went to therapy for PTSD a year later, so hopefully, I don't know if he's doing okay now, but
Got himself with a gun.
holy crap, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he tried killing himself twice and had 2 failed suicide attempts because of
that wasn't in the
your best
Wikipedia article.
Buffalo moment.
Poor
Way to go.
fella.
No, okay, it wasn't just
Well, what
that.
about-
It was well, okay. Are you saying they shouldn't? If we save this guy's life, he might be depressed and try to kill himself later. Maybe we shouldn't.
What about who is the Bills guy? That
Kevin Everett.
Kevin
Everett,
Everett.
yeah, they didn't think he was gonna walk. I was looking up that too. Apparently,
I know that doctor.
Cappuccino.
Dr.
He's a
Cappuccino.
star doctor.
His wife did my hernia surgery, and he did my grandfather's knee surgery.
Ooh, cool.
I've met him
But
a
yeah.
lot of times.
A lot of that research too was funded by Ralph Wilson there before that even happened. He supported a lot of that for the spinal cord and all that.
That's pretty
My
cool.
2 memories of Kevin Everett is that hit or whatever, his injury. And then we had a Sunday night game flexed. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a Sunday afternoon game against the Patriots. Flexed to Sunday night because it was their undefeated season. And before the game, Kevin Everett gets on. I'm doing okay, fans. Go beat those Patriots. And then we lost like 56-0. And it's like, this guy had the
like
worst
45.
season of anybody's life, where it's you pretty much can't walk. And then you get on there for a motivational speech and it doesn't work at all.
Yep. I think he's.
I mean,
good
he
now.
had to know it's the Patriots, but
I'm sure he's walking to a certain extent, probably just like
yeah, I think he is.
the Pittsburgh.
They
Ryan
give him a
Shazier.
very, very bleak prognosis right away, but then he started moving his arms and stuff and legs a lot more strongly after a couple of days than they thought.
Dude.
And they think a big part of it was they did this ice pack. They did a saline solution.
Yeah, they put the saline to keep the swelling down. They had it on ice before they administered to him.
So that's really freaking cool too.
It's a medical marvel, they said.
And
You're basically basing your best Buffalo
The-
moment on the medical field.
yeah, it's
Okay.
when the stakes
Pretty cool.
are real, man. You know? But my best personal moment was probably, oh God, I had one and I can't remember it. Never mind.
My best personal moments is going to the Palace.
Oh yeah, those were
Yes.
Watch the
cool.
Sabres games.
Local
love those.
dumpy theater. Well, it's not
so
a super
bad.
dumpy.
It's so bad.
Okay.
It's
terrible.
really-
The
I mean, it's
historic
better
theaters
now.
that's got like the roof things, the paintings and stuff. But yeah, there was packed to the brim with
Your
Sabres
description
fans.
This place is I don't know if it's doing
Spot
it
on.
really good justice or not doing it justice.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, like it was the 06 and the 07 playoff run they played.
Yeah, because it wasn't on TV.
Where games are free, and we'd go. I remember the Drury game time goal in the Fenagano. I remember being there for that.
Yep.
Like
Same here.
those are.
I remember
so
it was like
fun.
it felt like they took a little piece of the stadium and just took it out and put it there. It was so electric.
Yeah,
Well,
because-
they also had the party in the plaza going on at the arena. So like
Yeah.
during those
too.
events, like I mean, that's what it was. It was an event. It wasn't
Mhm.
just sporting. And like they're starting to do that with Bills games now, but
Well,
it's
COVID.
just. But they're still doing it. They have places downtown where they have tables
yeah, it was on Allen.
placed
Street or
apart to where you can watch things outside and be in a social setting in a
Mhm.
COVID world. But like it's just it won't match up to what it was. Like that was just walking down Main Street in Lockport, New York, a little dump of a town, and just the whole city was engulfed into this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
because
the Bills are starting to become it but it's just everybody's so cautiously optimistic because of the 20 years.
and
Yeah.
it worked out that they did that because it was the year that they signed that contract with like OLN before they became NBC Sports, and nobody had that channel to watch the game. So luckily, there was one or two places that
Nobody's
ability.
about NBC Sports either, so
yeah.
they're
So
going
it
bye
was-
bye.
So it was
Mhm.
that was like right after we got rid of Empire or whatever.
Yeah,
Ah.
Now Jake's got a cat.
everybody's attracted to me when I'm trying to do things.
Ugh.
I didn't
Mine's
make
hiding
it.
in a closet.
But yeah, so sorry
Go
I kind
grab
of did
my
a cop
turtle.
out, but
Oh, that's a good pick, Kyle.
I like that pick.
It is.
It was just funny where it's like, yeah, you almost died.
I didn't know that. That's sad. I hope he's okay.
Don't step on the keyboard.
He's isn't he a goalie coach?
He wasn't
for
he wasn't
Minnesota
even
now?
a Saber though. That's the
He
cool
was.
part.
Pilarczyk, yeah. He's
Yeah,
a
he
goalie
was.
coach.
What?
When he got his neck cut, he was absolutely a Saber.
Oh my god, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually,
thinking
he was
of
pretty good.
Yeah.
wow,
But it
I've
just
read
was
this
not
wrong
the-
then.
Hey,
Okay.
I got to correct him on his own moment.
His jersey was white and blue, and then it turned red.
I clearly
That's where the
remember
red jerseys came from.
I clearly misremember this player who got injured in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Say, you see, remember it so
Remember
much that you weren't even around.
Yep. It's just, best Buffalo moment. I
That's
do
still-
remember Zednik though. That was crazy.
I do remember that one. That
Campbell
was
was
a good
skate,
one.
I think.
Because
Yeah.
Zednik's
Or
was
was it
crazy
Campbell or was
because
it Oli Jokinen skate that Campbell checked him and he came?
Yes.
and hit him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's what it was. Yeah, Jokinen.
but yeah, Zednik's
Oh.
was crazy because he got gashed, however it was, and there's just buckets of blood. He had the wherewithal to sprint to the bench. That was amazing.
Or
He
Zednik,
probably
yeah.
saved his own life
Well,
there.
Archuk, a little bitch.
No, not at all. They were different enough injuries that you can't really compare them.
Clint was just down on all fours, like, oh, this is it.
I think. According to Wikipedia, he joked. Let me find this. Where is it? He
Shout
joked
out
on the
to-
way to the hospital that they should stitch him up and he can play the third period.
Who did Malarchuk?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what every
Right.
As he
hockey
was
player.
white.
Yeah. But yeah, that was some cool medical history in Buffalo.
I
So.
will say this: my uncle's friend has a man cave in his garage, and in his bathroom in his man cave, he's got this massive picture of Malarchuk just holding his neck and everything. It's just all like, yeah, I want that picture.
That's graphic.
Such dark red blood.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
there you go. And oxygen.
All right, Bills game. AFC
Yeah,
Championship.
let's move on.
Yeah.
People almost dying in the Bills game where people are probably going to be
Concussed.
making sweet, sweet babies. They
So
win.
what's the best thing that we could say before the game that we'll look back on and laugh at or be like, wow, good prediction?
Take Mahomes out again. Hit him in the head.
He's got toe problems.
I was
They're
gonna
saying
say,
that
I
could
think
be
the
a
toe
major
problem
issue.
is the biggest issue. I think it wasn't a concussion,
No, I know.
Yeah, it was.
but they diagnosed him with the concussion so vaguely on Sunday that they had to put him in protocol just for
But
precaution.
because they saw him wobble, so that was an instant that they saw
He
him
was choked
stumble.
out pretty
Yeah,
much.
he was pretty much just passing out because he couldn't breathe.
And if
but
you
they saw
have
the
that
wild
bad of a
one.
concussion where you got Bambi legs,
Yeah,
you're
then
going to be gone.
you're going to be
for
out
more-
for more than a week.
Yeah.
Wait, is he
Yeah.
playing or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing.
Damn. I wish him well.
I don't think he had a concussion.
I
at
don't.
all.
No, I don't think he had a concussion either. Not one to
Let's give him one.
warrant.
Let's not try to injure.
Ah,
It's not a good
Listen,
play style.
listen.
It's not a very fair play style.
The Saints cost the Vikings a shot at the Super Bowl because they were hunting him. I don't give a shit anymore. Let's break some necks.
Mm-mm.
Do
I
it.
cannot. I don't condone that.
Yeah, when Bountygate, when
Oh, fire.
Greg Williams.
yeah, Greg Williams, man.
It's supposed to be. It's who's better at football, not who's better at not getting killed by people.
If the Bills beat Chad Henne, if the Bills beat Patrick Mahomes, I will be celebrating just as much either way.
Yep. All right. Amen.
Yeah. I mean, if he gets injured, it's better safe than sorry. Not play if he's gonna get injured, but they
All right,
shouldn't
let's
try
start
to
with
kill
this.
him.
Who will have more passing yards, Mahomes or Allen?
Allen.
Yeah.
Saying it
Same. Oh.
I
think
don't know.
our
I figure
defense-
whoever loses is going to have more passing yards because they'll be trying to play catch up. I figure.
I will say Mahomes has more passing yards, but I think Allen will have more total yards than Mahomes.
Yeah.
With rushing. Who will have more rushing yards on the field? Singletary, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be playing.
Yeah, I figure probably he will or
He will.
Le'Veon Bell.
Bell's out.
Bell's
Is
out.
he out?
So
Yeah, I say
Damian
Kansas City
Williams,
will
I
have
think.
more.
What's that?
I say Kansas City will have more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're gonna do one of those Mad Cat plays. The Bills are gonna do one of those stupid Mad Cat plays where, or whatever it's called. You know those
Wildcat.
controllers that
Wildcat.
yeah, the Wildcat plays where the is it the running back throws the ball?
He
That's my hot
takes a
take.
snap instead of the quarterback. Yeah, or an option play. Yes.
That's my hot take. If that doesn't happen, then
Josh Allen does have a playoff receiving touchdown.
It does. That is a memorable moment for the Bills for sure.
if I was gonna go hotter, I'd say that he's gonna.
lead against Houston Texans.
Anyone else got crazy hot takes?
I think Diggs will definitely have more yards than Tyreek Hill.
I will say that neither Diggs, Kelsey, or Hill will lead the game in receiving yards.
Oh,
That's my hot
that's
take.
a hot take.
I don't think those three, because Diggs and Kelsey were 1-2 in receiving yards in the league. I don't think either one of them will be number one in this game in receiving yards.
Who do you say?
I'm going to say Cole Beasley.
Ooh,
Josh Allen's go-to, man. He loves that dude. He does.
Okay. Cool.
Definitely a good pick. I like it.
My other
Ricker-
pick would be John Brown.
What do you think the turnover ratio is going to be?
1-1. I don't know. What's a turnover ratio?
Chiefs defense led the league in interceptions. They had like
But in the last 8
16.
games, the
14.
Bills have.
Have they?
Ooh.
Yes.
I mean,
I'll
that's-
say
that's how they're going to have to win. I think is
2-1
Oh, it's gonna be a
ratio.
turnover battle.
Chiefs. Like, I think Allen will throw one and fumble one, and I think Mahomes will throw one.
I think there's going to be another. No, I don't think this. Wouldn't that be silly though if there's another one of those plays where the guy's running and they just grab the ball from him, like that happened in that.
It would be funny. Yes.
Sorry.
I will like that. I will immediately think of Sean.
Why me?
Wasn't you
No, it was
the
Rick's.
player with Rick? Or sorry,
Yeah.
I would think of the wrong person then.
I'll
I gotta
just-
try to find it on YouTube or something. Figure out what it was. It was hilarious. Like when I
That
was
sounds
watching.
like it would happen in like a freaking backyard football game.
Sounds like a game
This is
of
my-
bullets.
It's pretty great.
Here, you take this.
All right.
Will there be a defensive or special teams touchdown?
No. I say no.
Who are the refs going to accidentally screw over?
Hopefully
that. I mean, if it's accidentally, it'll be Kansas City. If they do it on purpose, it'll absolutely be Buffalo.
Everybody wants the Chiefs to go to Super Bowl again.
Yes, the league loves Mahomes being the face of the league.
Yeah,
riding that
50 million a year.
I mean, he's a great player. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but like, it's just the favoritism towards him is just so asinine.
I had a thought about that.
Okay.
We were talking about how they have those players that are like superstar players that they talk about all the time. I think they do it because they like to build narratives around it. So the league is easier to understand and more entertaining if there's these narratives. So if there's these big players in it, it's a lot easier to tell narratives like this guy had a bad week, so they lost. And then
You know what the narrative going into this weekend is? That Tampa Bay and Green Bay are playing a game and Kansas City's not. They have talked about Baltimore, they have talked about the Colts, and they have talked about the Texans more than they have actually talked about the Bills. The only time they actually talk about the Bills is when they're saying, oh, what will Kansas City do to the Bills?
Well, that's
and it's
right
usually
for an underdog story.
I mean,
Bills come out of nowhere.
Actual underdog story for sure if they beat Chiefs and they go to the Super Bowl. But they have not gotten any credit for either of their wins, and they haven't gotten any credit for even being in the AFC Championship. It is, what did the Colts do to lose? What did the Ravens do to lose? Not what did the Bills do to win either of those games.
So I've been hearing a lot of people pick the Bills now, like Rich Eisen picking the Bills, Kyle Brandt picking the Bills.
After all that rant, I don't want them to talk about us. I like being the underdog.
Yeah.
I don't think we can handle being a favorite.
Well, if we win this game, we'll be the plucky underdogs, whether you like it or not.
Well, they'll be the underdog. Even if they win this game, they'll still be the underdogs too for the Super Bowl. Like
For sure. It'll either be Rodgers
They'll be plucky.
MVP.
They'll gain the title plucky.
Or it'd be Brady is so good.
Brady currently is he set another record. He's currently in the middle of setting that record or extending it, which is he had week 1 against the Saints playing in New Orleans. He threw, I think it was 2 or 3 interceptions when they got annihilated. That was the last time he threw an interception on the road. So right now he has the NFL record for most consecutive pass attempts and completions in road games without a pick.
That was week 1?
Week 1 was the last time he threw a road game interception.
I don't believe that. Because they played Green Bay week 6, because both these games are rematches from week 6. I thought the rematch, it was in Green Bay. And I know they
dominated them.
Yeah, Tampa crushed Green Bay.
But I thought Green Bay picked them off.
I mean, supposedly to everybody, it's he hasn't done it. So
I'm probably getting mixed up. I don't pay attention to the NFC as half as much as I paid attention.
Also, that doesn't matter because it's no difference in home games and away games.
Yes,
like,
it is.
As far as I mean, there is in like actuality, but like for the records, like it's still he threw a pick during a football game.
Yeah,
so,
I do agree. I don't fully. Okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Just shows how terrible I am. I don't fully believe in home field advantage. I don't. Not especially in football where the field's the same. And
so you don't think the crowd atmosphere or the weather has a factor to do with it?
I mean, the weather could happen anyway. Like that's what everybody's. Oh, Bucks are going up to Green Bay. You know, they're going to a cold weather game. Brady etched his name.
Okay, that's one player. You got 20 something.
Most important player on the entire field.
Yeah, well, if the other guys can't catch the ball or make plays because they can't handle the cold.
I'm just picturing Brady around a campfire with all his teammates around him. He's like, let me tell you guys a story about snow. And he just coaches them all about
it's cold.
Well, that's like what I do here when I'm telling people what snow's like. You know what it's like in Texas.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Buffalo, for instance. Everybody, you got to get used to snow. It's going to be blizzard up. In the last 10 years, how many like really snowy games has Buffalo played?
Cleveland, 2? Buffalo.
That's pretty much Cleveland, Buffalo, and then you had the Colts, Buffalo a couple years back,
I remember that.
and like that's it. I mean, because you only played.
Game.
Yeah, Mormon punted the ball out the back of the end zone too. Like, there's always been terrible games. Anyways, but that's just the bed of Lake Erie. Yeah, I mean, like Buffalo, for instance, you could have crappy weather games. You could have snow in September, I guess, but like, I don't know. I don't really fully believe in home field advantage that much, especially in a pandemic season.
Yeah, that's understandable. But in a normal circumstance, you're telling me that going into Arrowhead with the 73,000 fans making that difference?
I mean, that's why you have a silent count, right?
I mean, does it really work? I mean, not to change.
I mean, they have lost in Arrowhead. Green Bay's lost in Lambeau. I mean, like if it was as legitimate of a thing, then I don't think it would be as close of a win-loss record at home to road.
True.
I mean, you win. The Bills have won just as many road games as they've won home games, pretty much. But, I mean, this year's kind of a fluke because it's a pandemic season, so it's kind of harder to navigate that. But a couple
of factors I could see making effect. There's a lot of athletes are superstitious, so I don't know if that actually affects their performance. The coaching probably tries to hammer it out of their head, but they're still probably superstitious. But then there's also the crowd is and what you're used to. Like, you're used to your own locker room more than the other ones. But there's also, you're traveling, you're going to hotels probably. Maybe you're even more focused when you're on a road game because there's nothing to do. You can't like sit and play your video games. You have to think about the game and stuff. I don't know. There's factors, but I feel like these guys are professional enough that, and the coaching staffs are good enough that they're minimized, and it's probably not a huge thing. But they also try to split it up so you play the same amount of home games and away games. So.
Well, yeah, you have 8 road games, 8 home games. But like, I don't know. Like, if you're a really good team, like the Bills, they're 13-3. I know they lost to Kansas City at home. They lost to Tennessee at home, and then they lost to Arizona on the road. So
it's those damn video games
on the road than they did at home. And like, if you're a good team, you overcome it. I think the only time it's an advantage is when you're playing against a bad team, and then you're just playing against a bad team.
Yeah. Maybe we'll pick up this topic another day too.
We'll see if the Bills win on the road.
Ooh.
That's tonight, or if Kansas City.
They are underdogs, so.
Well, yeah, and that's where the home field advantage comes in, is gambling, because you automatically get 3 points for being home.
Ooh.
So like that's
all that Kansas City favored it this year, or this game too.
3.5.
3.5 now.
Yeah. So no one knows who it's gonna. That's like even then, right?
Depends on who he has. Yeah, as far as if you take the 3 points away, then it's just a half point favorite.
Cool.
That 3.5 actually makes a huge difference on the 3.5. Then it's like, all right.
Now it's 3.5. I thought it was only 2.5.
I saw 3.5 yesterday, so I mean it's changing every hour.
And then of course too, the Chiefs haven't covered the point spread, and I think it's been like 12 straight games or something like that. Insane.
They have 3. It's at 3 now.
All right.
So it's a Green Bay game too.
So it's even. If it was the other way, they would give Buffalo 3.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Buffalo would be 3-point favorite.
That's interesting.
That's to me like the biggest impact of home field is gambling.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're at a good point that unless anyone else wants to say anything that in retrospect will look really bad or really good about the Bills game.
It's not about the Bills game, but quick. Bucks or Packers?
Both.
It's a tie.
I'm picking Tampa.
I'm picking Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm picking Green Bay too.
It's gonna be tough. I don't think that. I don't know. Green Bay had. I don't know. Tampa has Sue, so I want Sue to win.
And then Brady. Honestly, like it's hard to go against Brady. But yeah, I'd pick Green Bay. They're playing just lights out. Honestly, whoever comes out of the NFC, I think is winning it all.
You think so? Even against Kansas City?
Yeah.
Even against Kansas City.
Or the plucky underdogs.
or the plucky underdogs.
All
Yeah.
right. We'll see you after the game where we look like idiots or not.
I always look like an idiot, so there's nothing changing.